Welcome to another episode of Breaking Bank. This is your host, Jack McKeag. Please check us out on libertyaid.org. And if you need any questions answered, write them to contact at libertyaid.org. AID, libertyaid.org. Okay, so this one we're going to go into bankruptcy. I came to my attention that I have no bankruptcy video. What's up? That's stupid. So, okay, what is going on with bankruptcy? Why should you never do it? Ever. No one should ever do bankruptcy, really. Why? For what reason? What is the process of bankruptcy? Let's just describe it, an overview, and you'll understand why you should never do it. Okay. When you do bankruptcy, you basically pay money to a lawyer, you go into the lawyer, and the lawyer says, hey, write down all the debts that you want in bankruptcy. And you write them all down, right? And then you go to court, and it's like, oh, I want these debts to be ruinous against my credit report for a decade. That's what bankruptcy does. It ruins your credit report for a decade. Yay. Okay. So, and that's all it does. And that's it. So, like if you still have assets against secured debt, they're still going to take your house. They're still going to take your car or whatever if you're not paying for it. It's still going to do all that. It doesn't prevent them from doing that. Ever. At all. And so it doesn't, get you out of any debt that you owed. That didn't happen. What it does is wreck your credit report for, instead of 7 years, 10 years. That's all it does. Extra 3 years of a guaranteed credit wrecking from a bankruptcy. So, not sure why you do that. So what's the trick? What's the hoax? How do they get all these people to do bankruptcy? A fantastic hoax, by the way. Lawyers just, are pure evil, every single one of them. They know exactly what they're doing. They are pure evil. They've chosen to work for Satan directly. So that's what they're doing. And they're lying to you getting into this bankruptcy thing. How? You wrote down what debts you owe. The debtor didn't have to come up with any proof, no paperwork, no nothing. Got over the whole paperwork thing with all the banks. It was such a clever trick. I owe all this stuff. It's on my credit report. Well, as you know, all debt is collected illegally, and we guarantee the removal of your debt, your personal debt. So we have those tools. And worst case scenario with any debt is your credit's messed up for 7 years. Bankruptcy just makes it messed up for a decade. And you have to pay a lawyer to get it permanently wrecked. It's just the worst thing. I mean, with that process, you can use it against, any debts that come up, whatever. They can't prove a debt. No lender can. They don't have the paperwork. All debt by every lender, every commercial lender, every bank, your student loans, your credit cards, your, everyone basically that's out there lending commercially. They do not have your signed contract to prove they can collect on the debt. So they need to pull a hoax on you and get you to agree to, do this, I agree to all these debts is what bankruptcy is, but with no proof. So you got tricked. They call it hoodwinked, right? Because that's what the Freemasons do. They have a hoodwinking ceremony. So they tricked you. They lied to you. That's what bankruptcy is, simply a hoax. It's a trick to ruin your credit for longer and for the lawyer to steal extra money and put it in his pocket, right? And they get to scrutinize what you have and steal every penny you have down to almost the last penny. It's like, that's none of your business. Your business, banks, is to prove the debt is owed, and you can't. That's your business. So you're not going to ever collect anything, that you think you owe. Well, of course, you keep some credit going and stuff. Person's credit can be useful to just pay. Like, I don't recommend sabotaging all your person's credit and so on. Get into other entities, build that corporate credit, right? See, the person is always tied to an individual. So you don't want to mess up the person. Just leave it with the three attributes a person needs, right? No, takes no income, has no bank account, never accepts money, right? And doesn't contract to take money, no job, none of that, right? You do other work through a trust or another entity, LLC, whatever, right? So that's the first attribute. It takes no money, and gives no money, right? It doesn't do that, all right? And then it holds no assets, not in the person's name, none. And then it has perfect credit. Those are the three attributes we look for, all right? So person just sits on the sidelines and licenses other entities, and you know, you can build credit for other entities with no personal guarantee. So you know, if debt couldn't be paid back in that case, what, there's no blowback, there's nothing at the end, just sorry you didn't get your money, because it's just to that entity, it's not to your person. So it's how you clean up your person, but then keep it good, and then do the other work, get into other entities, you know, build up that credit, which can be much higher than the person. And there's no personal guarantees, so you know, it's, you can slide those, you know, credit cards and checks or whatever into your trust legally, and then that business can't pay back its money. Okay, whatever. 9 out of 10 businesses fail. Great, go for 10 out of 10. Well, you know, great. It's legal. Don't do bankruptcy. There's no reason to do it. None. Okay, you'll screw up your credit for 3 years longer and pay extra money to the lawyer and agree to debts that you never owed. It's the biggest hoax out there financially. Don't do bankruptcy. Okay. All right, we clear? All right. Thanks so much. All right. Jai Baba.